Greetings, I'm Dr. Sean Reed, author of the Dating Toolbox, available on Amazon.com. All right, so guys, today I want to talk about the relationship between IQ and success with women. More specifically, I want to compare the quality of intelligence with mindset when it comes to women. So which is more important? The first thing I will say is that yes, having a high IQ can and will help you. It'll make it easier for you to have conversations. It will make it easier for you to develop topics and tell stories. It'll make it easier for you to have a sense of humor, right? Most of your most famous comics also had very high IQs. However, when it comes to women, I argue that mindset is more important than IQ. More specifically, I argue that you don't need to be a genius to be successful with women. Having a high IQ helps, but the most important thing is your mindset, your attitude. And that has to be an attitude of fearlessness when it comes to starting conversations with women, getting phone numbers, calling them up for dates, going out on dates, having a confident disposition. That is the most important thing when it comes to being successful women. So mindset trumps IQ, okay? One thing I have seen with guys I was coaching this one guy, late 20s, a good size, 6 feet tall, 205 pounds. He was a former wrestler, a very good wrestler. He had a job as a wrestling coach, which probably doesn't put him in the six-figure territory, but he still had a good job. And he had a terrible time. He wasn't having success with women because he was a smart guy. He wasn't being confident, and he was not opening enough women. He was undervaluing himself and his value in terms of the relationship market. So he would end up, dating single moms, dating women that were older. He would generally go after women that were really less quality than the woman he was capable of attracting. And this was because his mindset. One day I'm telling him, I'm like, look, you got to get out and you open. I kept trying to work with him, and he kept saying, oh no, I think I'm borderline autistic, which is possible. But still, the core problem I see with so many men is they don't have the confidence and the mindset to approach, to open, and to be confident. What happens is they start to overthink things. So I've talked before about the 4-second rule. When you see a woman, you have 4 seconds to open her, okay? The last thing you want to do is to overthink and over-intellectualize that opening, right? So a very smart guy might start thinking, it could go wrong this way. This could happen. This bad thing could happen. And he destroys his confidence by overthinking the process. What you have to do is you have to move in and you have to open. I remember many, many years ago when I was young, so we're talking nearly 50 years ago, but I used to sell newspaper subscriptions door to door. And there was a crew of us. So there were like 4 or 5 kids, and the guy running it would pick us all up in a van, and we'd go out and we'd sell newspaper subscriptions. And there was this one kid, granted he was young, he was cute, but we would go out this guy would take us out to dinner to some place like McDonald's after we would, work for 3-4 hours getting some newspaper subscriptions. And we had this one kid on the crew, and he would go up to women, start talking to them, and then he would ask, can I kiss you? And at the time I thought, this is insanity. This guy is just nuts, right? No. He would be successful 2 out of 3 times. These women would say yes. And he would meet these women and he would kiss them. Of course, being 15 years old and cute probably enabled him to get away with this. But this was a testimony to the importance of mindset and a fearless approach to opening. So, let's look at the 4 things that can happen when you go and you open a woman. So I've argued this many, many times. We must open women. We must talk to lots of women. We must start conversations with lots of women. That is really the key to success. So let's look at the 4 things that can happen when you start a conversation with a woman. And we'll go, as we go through these 4 things, the main point here is virtually none of them lead to anything bad. There's only one thing you can do that will lead to negative consequences in terms of your opening, right? The assumption here is that we're always gentlemen. We keep it light. We keep it funny. If a woman says no, she doesn't want to talk to you, we back off, okay? So there are 4 things that can happen. Only one of them are bad. So the first thing that can happen when you go up and you start a conversation with a woman is you are successful. You get that conversation going. You're witty, you're funny. And again, this is where IQ can, come into play as a positive. And she gives you her phone number. That's scenario number 1. Okay. And that's ideally what we want to happen. But the reality is that that will not happen all the time. As you get better with women, that may still only happen 25% of the time. So you'll open 30 women a month and you may only get a phone number 6 or 7 times. That's very normal, and that's okay. That is actually more than okay. That is a good outcome because those 6, 7 phone numbers are going to lead to 2, 3 dates. Those 2, 3 dates are going to lead to 1 successful date. So we will continuously be opening women, continuously be getting phone numbers, and continuously getting dates. And that's, I've argued elsewhere, how we build our dating rotation. When you have a dating rotation of 3 women and you're constantly getting new phone numbers, that will tremendously boost your self-confidence, and it will naturally get rid of any notion or sense of neediness on your part. And again, that's the key to success. That will help you develop that mindset of success. So let's look at the second thing that can happen when you open a woman. You open a woman, you start a conversation with her, she talks to you, you go in to get that phone number and she says, no, I have a boyfriend, or I don't think so. And the point here is you don't get that phone number. Okay. The problem here is that men think of that as a failure. That is not a failure. That is a success. It's a success because that woman talked to you and you successfully opened her. That is a positive. It's okay if you didn't get that phone number because you know that the next woman you open may well lead to that phone number. Most certainly over the next week as you open women, you're going to get a phone number. So scenario number 2 is you don't get that. You open her, start a conversation. You don't get that phone number, but that is okay, guys. Okay, let's look at scenario number 3. Scenario number 3 is you go to start a conversation. You go to open a woman and she doesn't even want to talk to you. She shoots you down. She won't start a conversation with her. You, of course, are not going to get her phone number. Guys, that is okay. Again, nothing really bad happened for her. We're gentlemen. We're polite. We're light. We're funny. So, we're not going to get into any legal troubles when we start a conversation with a woman because we're doing it correctly. But we have no success. Guys, that is okay. Again, every time that happens, you can count on the next woman being one that you will successfully open, and the next one being one you will successfully get a phone number with. Now, there's one last scenario of the 4 that can happen, and that is you do not even open the woman at all. You see a woman you like, you see a woman you want to have a conversation with, you start to overthink it, and you don't even open it. You lose your confidence, and you don't open her at all. I argue that this is really the only negative scenario because you're going to go home, you're not going to have phone numbers, and you're going to be left with regret. What if I had opened her? What if I tried to start that conversation? Maybe I could have been successful, but I didn't even try, and now I have nothing. So as you can see, guys, looking through these 4 potential outcomes, only one is really bad, and only that one is caused because you did not even open the women. So again, it goes back to mindset. I was talking with an older guy in the gym today, and he's a high school teacher, and he was telling me what a problem it is with all these young men because they're unwilling to have conversations with women. And that is the core problem of today's relationships. I mean, there are other problems. Our academic institutions, our media institutions, they've all kind of conspired to brainwash women. But I argue that it is in a woman's nature to want to have relationships with men. So if we can open them properly and manage relationships properly, we can bring out that good quality that I think is in most women. All right. Okay, guys. So we can see here, to summarize my argument today, is that yes, being smart can help you with women, but it's not the most important quality. It is not the most important variable. The most important variable is mindset. All right, guys. So again, if you liked what you saw and heard today, please hit that like and subscribe button. If you have any questions, please ask me in the comment section. I'm more than happy to answer them for you. And again, my book, The Dating Toolbox, is available on Amazon.com. There's a link down below to the book. It's only $13. It will change your dating life. All right, guys. And thank you for listening today.